If you believe making money is about buying comfort or showing off your success, you are already a slave to external forces. The elite do not build wealth to buy luxury, they build wealth to purchase absolute sovereignty. Welcome to the dead man strategy. Now, let us strip away the illusion. The core analysis. The masses are systematically conditioned to view resources through the lens of praise, validation, and immediate gratification. They exchange their finite life force for currency that actively decays, only to spend it on material assets that broadcast their location and vulnerabilities to the world. This is the ultimate trap of human civilization. To the true strategist, wealth is never an instrument of pleasure or a tool to buy applause. It is the supreme weapon of personal defense, unshakable independence, and absolute leverage over human nature. Niccolò Machiavelli observed that a leader should have no other design or thought than the rules and discipline of warfare. In the grand arena of life, economic survival is that warfare. Accumulating resources under the frameworks of the dead man strategy demands absolute emotional detachment from the marketplace. You do not chase temporary trends, nor do you beg for opportunities. You identify structural vacuums of human dependency. You observe what the crowd desperately fears losing, and you position yourself as the silent, indispensable custodian of the solution. True accumulation begins the exact moment you stop trading time for a wage and begin acquiring asymmetric leverage that operates entirely independent of your physical presence. To build a significant fortress of capital from absolute nothingness, you must ruthlessly apply Law 11 of the 48 Laws of Power. Learn to keep people dependent on you. The ordinary worker is an easily replaced commodity. The independent strategist, however, constructs a highly specialized capability, an encrypted knowledge base, or a resource network that makes their removal catastrophic to the machinery around them. You must treat your daily execution as a silent, calculated conquest. While weak men waste their focus seeking superficial recognition, your singular objective is to accumulate resource power without ever drawing a crowd. Seek out environments where your downside is strictly protected, but your potential upside is exponential. By utilizing advanced scale and hidden infrastructure, you can multiply your output while keeping your physical footprint completely invisible. If you are seen everywhere, your value immediately diminishes. If your mechanism is completely hidden but utterly indispensable, you dictate the terms of the engagement. True accumulation does not mean hoarding paper. It means acquiring complete control over strategic assets. Machiavelli warned that those who rely entirely on fortune fall the moment fortune shifts. Relying on a single stream of security or a single territory's rules is a self-inflicted execution. Every unit of wealth you generate must immediately be stripped of its emotional weight and treated as a cold, disciplined soldier. Its only objective is to go out into the arena, secure terrain, and capture more resource power. You do not build wealth to live luxuriously. You build wealth to secure absolute autonomy. But as your capital scales, the structural danger multiplies. The exact moment your accumulation becomes visible to the naked eye, you invite the envy of competitors, the greed of institutions, and the parasitic manipulation of the weak. The moment you forge the blade, you must know how to mask it. strategic invisibility. How to control it. The greatest mistake a man makes after securing resource power is allowing the world to see it. The untrained mind automatically equates possession with display. They believe that to hold power, they must broadcast it through external symbols, expensive masks, and loud environments. This is not control. This is a desperate cry for validation, and it is the fastest way to invite your own destruction. True sovereign control requires absolute camouflage. Robert Greene's third law of power states, conceal your intentions. When applied to the realm of wealth, this means you must master the art of looking completely average on the outside while holding absolute economic leverage behind closed doors. You must separate your physical identity from your resource base. Let the crowd look at you and see a ghost, a nobody, someone of zero consequence. The more unremarkable your public profile is, the more untouchable your assets become. While weak men use their resources to attract attention, the strategist uses their resources to buy anonymity and psychological space. If they do not know what you own, they cannot calculate your vulnerabilities, and they can never weaponize your success against you. Niccolò Machiavelli warned that human nature is inherently fickle, envious, and treacherous. The moment your accumulation becomes visible, the people around you stop seeing a man, begin seeing an opportunity. Friends transform into parasites, competitors transform into predators, and institutions begin designing ways to extract what you have built. Therefore, when you do not control wealth by holding it in your own name or flaunting it in your immediate environment, you control it through complex networks, unlinked entities, and trusted proxies. You let others step into the spotlight to take the risks, while you sit in the shadows, quietly holding the strings and manipulating the board. To master perception dynamics, you must learn to manipulate the envy of the crowd. If you must display a calculated illusion of struggle or a modest average lifestyle, let them believe they are equal to you or even ahead of you. This artificial safety removes their guard, neutralizes their malice, and gives you the ultimate psychological advantage. True power is not found in wearing a crown for the masses to admire. True power is being the silent architect who owns the entire kingdom from the dark. Once you have mastered the mask of invisibility, you must naturally learn how to defend that ground for eternity. Defensive fortification and a generational anchor. Once you have mastered the mask of strategic invisibility, you must construct the fortress. Securing absolute control over your resources is meaningless if you do not know how to defend them against the inevitable storm. Machiavelli noted that the premier mistake of rulers is failing to prepare for adversity during times of calm. When your position is stable, that is the exact moment you must engineer your defenses. You must isolate your capital from institutional overreach, regional instability, and the shifting tides of human law. Do not trust alliances. Do not rely on the goodwill of entities, and never leave your survival in the hands of a single authority. True defense means being completely decentralized, so that even if one territory falls, your core foundation remains entirely untouched. This brings us to the ultimate objective of the dead man strategy, the generational anchor. Weak men accumulate resources to spend them. Average men accumulate resources to pass them down as inheritance, which their undisciplined descendants inevitably destroy. The sovereign strategist does not pass down mere currency. They pass down permanent leverage. You do not build wealth to buy objects. You build wealth to buy back absolute time. Time is the only non-renewable asset in existence. When you command your time, you command your destiny. Every strategic asset you acquire must be locked into a permanent blueprint, a self-sustaining engine that preserves your autonomy long after your physical form has left the arena. The conclusion. Let us summarize the absolute laws of wealth and perception dynamics. First, strip away the illusion of accumulation and view resources solely as a weapon of defense and absolute sovereignty. Second, execute strategic invisibility. Look completely average to the world while holding the strings from the shadows. Third, build a decentralized fortress that no single entity or competitor can ever dismantle. This is not a blueprint for the weak-minded or those who crave the hollow applause of the crowd. This is the path of the hidden architect, and remain untouchable. This is Midu Kayz. The network is locked.